What if I told you there's a bodyguard unit so ruthless, so lethal, that rumors swirl about them eliminating threats before they even know what's happening? Picture this: invisible shadows that safeguard with surgical precision and brutal efficiency, no mercy, no hesitation. Welcome to the world of the insane Traoré's deadly bodyguard unit. Bold, shocking, immediate curiosity. Who is Traoré and why insane? Let's keep this conversational. So, first up, Traoré. Think of him as an enigmatic power player, a figure shrouded in whispers and unsettling stories. Some say he rose through sheer intellect, others claim he's backed by shadowy networks. But every whispered legend points to one thing: his absolute insistence on control. This isn't some ordinary security squad. It's often referred to in hushed tones as insane because their methods are surgical, sometimes indisputable, and often brutal. Precision over compassion. That's what sets them apart. Highlighted takeaway: the word insane here isn't about mental health. It's about extreme, unwavering efficiency. Imagine a team that sees threats and neutralizes them so fast you barely realize they existed. Formation and recruitment. What fueled this unit? Let's break this down. It all started with a few trusted soldiers, handpicked for loyalty and unflinching readiness. But here's the twist: Traoré didn't just recruit for skill, he recruited for mindset. People trained in urban warfare, psychological resilience, conflict zones. He wanted individuals who could handle chaos without batting an eyelid. Consider a real-world parallel: Special Operations Forces worldwide. Think Navy SEALs, SAS, Spetsnaz. They're trained to move fast, think ahead, stay calm under lethal pressure. Traoré's group followed that template, but stripped away the red tape. No bureaucratic hesitations, no second-guessing commands. This wasn't just an elite security detail, it was a psychologically calibrated, highly autonomous hit team. Imagine that in friendly civilian clothes, moving through crowds, scanning, assessing, and acting fast, decisive. Typical operations, reality behind the rumors. Let's pull back the curtain. Rumor has it they've intercepted threats mid-planning, sometimes neutralizing them before they even manifest. Scenario: a dissident group plans a symbolic protest. Traoré's intel machines catch wind. The team infiltrates, not as armed commandos, but as ordinary people. A handshake, a whispered conversation, a subtle push. The threat disappears. No headlines, no explosions, just silence. Another scenario: high-value target identification. Maybe it's an arms dealer or a double-crossing ally. Traoré's intel network traces them to a confessional meeting in a public cafe. The bodyguard unit sends someone in, friendly, unremarkable. When the moment comes, the threat falls ill, trips and hits his head, or simply vanishes. No mess, no panic. These aren't Hollywood shootouts, they're invisible eliminations, covert, untraceable, the kind that make heads spin later when investigators dig and find nothing obvious. Bold takeaway: efficiency without spectacle. Psychological impact and moral complexities. Now let's talk ethics, but keep it fluid, not lectury. When I say deadly bodyguard unit, your first instinct might be, this is immoral, right? And you're absolutely not wrong. These operators operate in a gray zone. On one hand, if they prevent violence, aren't they saving lives? On the other, the absence of due process, the invisibility of their methods, it's unsettling. They decide who lives, who dies, what's a threat, and what's not, without oversight. That's not security. That's judgment beyond laws. Let's bring in a real-world analogy: whistleblower leaks. People neutralize enemy intel by outsmarting or discrediting them before actions happen. Sometimes heroes, sometimes dangerous. Context matters. Moral question: when does covert protection become covert tyranny? Psychological armor, loyalty, fear, and the human network. Let's peel back the human layer. Traoré's network isn't just tech or squads, it's built on psychological architecture. He's crafted a system where loyalty is often a survival tactic, fear is a backdrop, and obedience becomes second nature. In whispered corridors, people learn that crossing the line isn't just career-ending, it's life-ending. Inspired by real-world echoes, we've seen such systems in authoritarian regimes where informal networks, Couriers, trusted confidants, shadow enforcers dictate the flow of control. They build a psychological shield that's stronger than any concrete wall. Trends and parallels, real-world operations, and shock value. Bringing it closer to home. In corporate espionage, we've seen stories of agents planted in rival firms, quietly gathering intel until one move is made to shut it down. In terrorism prevention, intelligence agencies like Mossad or MI6 sometimes intercept attacks months in advance. But they do so through legal frameworks, surveillance, court orders, public accountability. Traoré's unit skips all of that. Criminal organizations. Some cartels have cleanup teams to erase traces. Videos, witnesses, people. We've heard the whispers, but it's rarely confirmed. If you've watched true crime documentaries, you might have seen blurred references to these disappearing acts. The looming question: how many unsolved disappearances, quiet deaths, vanishings, and power struggles? Could this model explain? Real-world trend. As surveillance tech evolves, drones, facial recognition, AI, so do stealth operations, but legal agencies are bound by checks. Traoré's unit is bound only by loyalty and perhaps fear. Strategic infrastructure. Building the silent fortress. Rather than dramatic scenes of firefights, imagine a network, silent, systematic, unseen by the public eye. Traoré isn't just protecting himself or powerful clients, he's constructed an invisible infrastructure of containment and control. Think of it like an invisible web stretched beneath every public space: surveillance, informants, perimeter scans, rapid deployment plans. It's all running quietly as the world goes about business. This isn't your usual VIP detail. No armored cars crawling through traffic. It's a machine of prevention baked into everyday life. Because when threats are crushed before they form, you don't need obvious protection. The power lies in the web you never see. Power projection without presence. The weight of a whisper. This is about influence, not muscle. A bodyguard unit that's talked about in tones of fear, not because of visible force, but because word travels when people vanish, threats disappear, and investigations go nowhere. Traoré's unit operates like an instinct that says, "Don't test the system," without raising a finger. That allows power to project itself without ever showing its hands. Imagine authorities, rival factions, or dissenters. Some start to self-censor, pull back, change plans, just from rumors of precision enforcement. It's dystopian yet mesmerizing. Control not through chains, but through anxiety of consequence. Legacy of shadow governance. A double-edged inheritance. This isn't just a unit. Over time, such a system shapes how power is understood. Future leaders may look at Traoré's model and think, "If no one sees me act, no one can hold me accountable." That's a chilling legacy of diffuse, untraceable authority. On one hand, it's stability for those who crave peace at all costs. On the other, it eats away at transparency, trust, and the very fabric of governance. It teaches that visibility is unnecessary and maybe even dangerous for those in power. The curious paradox: safety that terrifies. Here's the heart punch. What if safer means more terrifying? That's the twisted logic Traoré's unit lives by. Ordinary people, walking through crowds, might feel safer, but beneath that comfort is a cold calculation. Protection delivered through invisibility and inevitability. It's a paradox that sticks with you. You feel calm, but the calm itself is a whisper in your ear. Something keeps the chaos away. Not kindness, not law, but silent vigilance. The ripple effect: power, perception, and public narrative. The unseen unit doesn't just act, it shapes perception. Public opinion twists. Some hail the safety without knowing its cost. Others resent the fear without seeing the force. That shapes media, loyalty, dissent, and the very way stories are told. Over time, legends form. The unit becomes myth. The whispers become gospel. The unit's reputation becomes a cultural force, not just a security detail. So, what really is the insane Traoré's deadly bodyguard unit? A preemptive, invisible defense machine, a moral puzzle, a testament to how far people will go to control threats. They're not superheroes. They're not villains. They're shadows. But here's the kicker: shadows are terrifying when you don't know they're there. This is the story that invites you to stay alert. Subscribe to stay in the world of hidden extremes. Share this if you've ever wondered, is safety worth the shadows? And drop a comment. Would you feel safer or more uneasy if you knew you were being protected by people you'll never see?